if we're talking ginger representation, then what's up guys, welcome back to another video. For today's video, we're going to be talking about what seems to be a super controversial topic these days, and that's going to be Disney's upcoming film, The Little Mermaid. And me, growing up, I've always loved Disney films, but I love even more is seeing the black community get more involved and have leading roles in these films. So throughout this video, you're going to hear me talk about things all the way from the trailer, the black community, the hate comments, and whether or not I agree with their choice of making Ariel a black woman. So make sure you go ahead and click that like and subscribe button, and let's get straight into the video. So you'll see I'm starting off with the sketch for this drawing. The only reference I used for this was the photo of the lead actress, Halle Bailey. So in the beginning stages, I'm just trying to capture her features like her cheekbones, her eyes, and beauty marks on her face. And lately I've been taking this approach of starting off my painting in grayscale, then later on switching to color. So if you'd like to see my more in-depth tutorial on how I do that, you can find that on my channel or somewhere linked on the screen. Now, let's get into the topic itself. When it was first announced that Halle Bailey was going to be playing Ariel about 1 or 2 years back, I knew instantly that this was going to cause some major controversy. You know, because obviously people are going to complain about taking a well-known Disney character that was originally white and making her black. But a lot of people fail to realize that Disney has done this before. A long time ago, they had made a remake of Cinderella, which was a musical live-action remake starring Brandy and Whitney Houston, you know, black leading roles. But mind you, this was made in 1997, so social media wasn't a thing. I feel like if this was made today, this would be receiving the same amount of backlash, if not more. However, the internet continues to surprise me every day, and what I didn't expect was people to use science as an explanation of why Ariel shouldn't be black.
Also, by the way, with The Little Mermaid, can we also just mention that just from a scientific perspective, okay, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have someone with darker skin who lives deep in the ocean. I mean, if anything, not only should the Little Mermaid be pale, she should actually be translucent. If you look at deep sea creatures, they're like translucent. They have no kind of pigmentation whatsoever. And they're just like these horrifying, they look like skeletons floating around in the ocean. That's what the Little Mermaid should look like. She should be totally pale and skeletal, where you can see her skull through her face. And that would actually be a version of Little Mermaid that I would watch.
Well, from a scientific perspective, you know what also doesn't make sense? A mermaid being best friends with a talking fish and a talking crab with a Jamaican accent. And then not only that, there's a sea witch that casts a spell and takes her voice from her. What about that gives you scientifically proven vibes? Like, is this supposed to be a documentary? Like, it's very weird when these people come with these points that's supposed to back up her not being black. That literally makes no sense when this is a fictional movie. And then the whole thing about how she should be translucent, I have no comment. Moving on. Now, one other thing I did see people talking about, where I feel like I kind of had to play devil's advocate. I seen people saying how the hair did not look red enough, and then when people would complain about that, people would just be like, oh, you're just racist, like you just don't like that she's black, that's why you're complaining. Now, I'm sure there are many people who are just making random critiques, just hating because it is a black woman playing the character. However, I too did kind of think that the hair looked brown in the trailer, but like it's not that deep. I guess I've even seen videos where they were explaining how ginger hair turns dark brown underwater, but I don't think that we should be just throwing out a label that somebody's racist because the color of the hair doesn't necessarily match the original film. That's just my take from that. But see, this is where y'all lose me, because I seen other people saying how, oh, what about the gingers? What about ginger representation for people with, you know, ginger hair? But Ariel's hair is more so red. Like, I get it, it's supposed to be she's a ginger, but her hair is literally red. So how would that be necessarily representation for you guys? And if we're talking ginger representation, then so, I think that's cleared up now. Let's get down to the real question. Do I think this was a good idea? On a business standpoint for Disney, yes. In terms of representation for the black community, yes and no. But hear me out, let me explain why. So the reason I say yes is pretty clear. It's because, another leading black role. The reason I say no is because it kind of just feels like they just gave us a recycled character and made her black. Now, mind you, in no way, shape, or form am I bashing this movie because, of course, I can't judge because it's not out yet. But I just feel like when it comes to representation, it would just feel a lot better if we were getting characters of our own. Just like how they created Princess Tiana, that was a brand new character that they gave us. So I feel like that was amazing. And the weirdest thing is I feel like they had a really easy opportunity to do this while still using this franchise. Doing my research, I found that The Little Mermaid actually had a limited TV show series. And in that series, Ariel has a friend by the name of Gabriella. She could have been a perfect main character to just cast as a black woman. And of course, they could have easily included Ariel in the story. And even though that the TV series isn't talked about a lot, I feel like it's very hard to believe that nobody out of all the people in the early stages of the production of the film didn't bring up this idea. And being the multi-billion-dollar company that Disney is, it's fair to say that they know this won't be overlooked. Changing the race of a major role in their film is definitely going to get a lot of negative reactions and a lot of positive reactions. So it starts to make me question if this was a genuine act of representing the black community or if this was just supposed to get a reaction out of us to run up their ratings. But it's Disney. I feel like they don't really have to do no scandalous type of tactics because they're basically number one. Like, we're gonna watch the movie regardless. I just feel like throughout this video, it's important for me to look at everything from both sides, why it could be a positive thing and why it could also be a negative thing. On another note, one thing that I was thinking about while I was drawing this, as I was drawing specifically the fish, so the fish's name is Flounder, so I was thinking that it's a flounder fish. And since it's a live action remake, wouldn't it be a realistic flounder fish? And I was like, wait, what do flounder fish look like?
Oh, hell no!
Now, when I seen that, I was like, ain't no way this is gonna be the fish in the movie. As you can see, there's no similarities whatsoever. Then I searched up what fish is he, and I got this. It basically says that although his name would imply otherwise, he is not a flounder, but rather a tropical fish with teal stripes. So I guess basically he's just a made-up fish. Now I don't see why his name is Flounder then, but I'm not complaining as long as it's not whatever that was. And as for the crab, who knows what he will look like, but as always, I'm sure Disney will do a good job as making sure the character designs appeal to children. So in conclusion, I would say I'm sort of in the middle of this whole argument. I can sort of see people's frustration with changing a white character into a black character. However, that still does not excuse the extreme amount of racist comments. As someone who is black, I would love to see more black leading roles, like I said, but just personally, I would prefer new characters. And with all that said, the drawing is now complete. Great, and that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. Well, it's not really a discussion unless you get your say in it, so make sure you leave your opinion down in the comments. Also, for those who are curious about the brushes I was using, those are linked in the description like usual. And make sure you click the like and subscribe button to help support my channel. Until next time, peace out guys.